ゴロンゴロンゴロンゴロン Just roll around, round, and round, and round, and round, and ゴロンゴロンゴロンゴロンゴロンゴロン all day. Whew, thanks, guys. Thank you so much. That's where I got the Goron Goron from. ありがとうございます。今の曲でゴロンゴロンにのめり込みました。Alright. I feel like playing one more piece, so why don't you guys let me play one piece and we'll close the session. But thank you so much for tuning in, guys. 皆さん、あと一曲弾かせてください。ちょっと弾きたいっていう気持ちがあるんで。今日は、いやなんか頭がいっぱい。You guys gave me so much love, so like I'm a little overwhelmed, and it's not often that I lose my place in these sessions when I'm translating. That was actually probably the first that happened so many times today. That was in a session, like I'm a little overwhelmed, but it's good. I think I can comfortably say life seems to keep getting better and better, and just believe. It's a good place to start. 今日のね話とかありましたけど、人生ってどんどん良くなっていくんじゃないでしょうか。とりあえずとにかく信じましょうね。これは健太郎君に僕いただいた表現なんですけど、健やかに生きるってね、彼がよく僕に教えていただいたんですけど、そうだね、そっか。パウラさんが英語でね、enjoy lots って言い方してたけど、日本語だともしかして健やかにって感じかもしれないですね。So, guys, I was just commenting like Paula's phrase, enjoy lots. My friend in Japan, Kentaro, has a way of saying 健やかに, which is like, it's a beautiful way of saying, it's not a very common way of saying, but it's like a beautiful way of saying healthy, heavenly, happily. It's all in that word, 健やか. It's one of my favorite things to like sign off on a Japanese letters these days. Like I would say, like, today as well, live healthy or something like that. 健やかに. That'll be another word for a different session, I think. Oh, actually, that would be a good word now that I think about it. So recently, something that's been on my, actually, before I go on, anybody have any thoughts from what I just mentioned? So, 僕、このまま話を続ける前に、ゴロンゴロンとか、roll around とか言ったりしてるけれど、今の状態でなんか皆さんに投げかけたいこととかありますか？ Guys, does anybody have any comments or any questions that anybody might want to throw at anybody right now? Michael Beavers?
Sure. It just makes me think of,
And Michael, go ahead and give us a short introduction or say something to everybody just so that we kind of like, start breaking the ice and melting it like completely.
Oh, sure. I'm Michael. I live in Mountain View.
皆さん、私はマイケルです。マウンテンビューという場所に住んでます。
Sometimes Go crashes on my sofa on the way up to Show's North.
彼が、ゴーが、北の方でツアーに出かけるときに僕のカウチで寝ていくことがたまにあります。
The Goron Goron makes me think of the rounded rocks about this large in riverbeds.
ゴロンゴロンって表現がありましたけど、なんか、川なんかに入ってる石のことをちょっと思い出させるなって感じのところありますね。Thank you, Michael. That's lovely. Thank you so much. Anybody else want to say anything from what we shared so far? No?
I do.
Paula?
Yes, it reminds me of my dog when she rolls around the grass.
And Paula, let's do the same thing. Say a quick hello to everybody, or like, you can do your enjoy lots or however you want to do it, just like a 30-second intro or something.
I'm Paola. I live in Florida, and I like to remind people of who we truly are as human beings. So part of that focus is to enjoy, and maybe that's why my greeting is enjoy lots. Whenever I sign off on an email or a text, I tell people to enjoy lots, kind of like my way of saying cheers, take care. So Goron reminds me of my dog rolling around in the grass, and she actually flops down, so you can sometimes hear her hit the grass like a thump, and roll around. So it just reminds me to just feel good. So, wherever you are, kind of like roll around and relax and feel good.
皆さん、私の名前はパウロと言います。フロリダの方に住んでます。で、私がよく enjoy lots っていう表現を使うんですけれど、それっていうのは、なんか皆さんに自分は誰なのかっていうのを改めて考えてほしいから言ってるんじゃないでしょうかって私自身に質問してるんですけど、先ほどのゴロンゴロンは私の犬、ローラーがいるんですけど、なんか、緑の芝生の上でなんかゴロンゴロンって回ってる感じのところをちょっと感じたりしましたって言っていただきましたね。Anybody else? ケンタロウ君もちょっと軽く、ちょっと待ってね、ケンタロウ君。Veronica, please, go ahead.
No, I was, and maybe it's a little bit of how life is sometimes, but the rolling around, which is sometimes like a round rock that is, it kind of just rolls around, which also means you have to roll along sometimes. That's what came to my mind as far as, the ups and downs, the roller coaster that is life, and rolling around to try to take what comes as it comes, and then rolling along to just be able to, continue to move forward, even when either you feel like the rock or you feel like you're bashed by the rock.
Okay, well, that's beautiful. Oh my gosh, guys, thank you so much for all these, insightful, thoughts that you guys are sharing. 今、ベロニカさんにちょっと話をいただいたんですけど、なんか人生の例えじゃないかなって言ってますね。石がなんかゴロンゴロンって動いていくのを感じたり、その石のように自分が転がってしまったり、あるいはその石がぶつかってきたり、いろんな形で人生の波って変わるんじゃないでしょうかっていうふうに言ってますね。Veronica, give us a quick intro from you too, just so that everybody has a chance.
Yeah. Hi, I'm in Pasadena, California. Met Go earlier this year in April, actually, for the first time, and got introduced to his music, and I've just been a fan and so enjoyed this Across Waters format that he's been so generous with his time and talent, as well as other overseas talent. So that's me.
Thank you so much, Veronica. 今、Veronica さんが言ったのは、私たち Go と私が知り合ったので、この4月でその時から Go の音楽のことを知って、さらにアクロスウォーターズのことを知りました。で、このようにしてなんか皆さんと一緒に触れ合えることなんかも楽しんでいて、なんか Go いろいろやるみたいですけど、音楽もすっかり聴かせていただいておりますって言ってます。テルヨさん、よかったら何か言いますか？ケンタロウ君ちょっと待ってね。
こんばんは。Good evening. I'm in Seattle, Washington. I used to be an editor for Japanese magazine in Seattle, and by that time I interviewed Go. That's how our friendship started. Okay, well, about Goron Goron, it reminds me of rocks, like Michael Todd was talking about, and it sounds like the Zen. I want to go in Japanese. That's easier for me. 石をなんていうのかな、聞くと、そういう話、石の状況ですね。それを聞くと、なんか禅問答を思い出してしまいましたね。
禅問答ですか？
そう。なんかそこでどんどん深くなっていきそうなものが。
So, Teru is using the expression of 禅問答っていうのは禅の修行みたいな感じでよろしいですか？
禅の、
禅をやるってことでしょうか？
禅というのは、質問を、師となる、なんていうの、お坊さんがいて、その人が弟子に、質問を与えるんですね。
はい。
で、それの答えを見つけるっていう、弟子が。
Okay,
そ
so
ういう
there's
のが
like
禅問答っていうんです。
so there's like a
ややこしくて
teacher
ごめんな
and
さい。
there's like a disciple, and the teacher would ask the student a question, and you would start thinking about the answer. And when Go mentioned the Goron Goron, like she started thinking about like, getting deeper and deeper within that question and within the answer. そんな感じでよろしいですか？テルさん。ありがとうございます。よろしいですか？はい。健太郎君、お待たせしました。どうぞ。
はい。皆さん、はじめまして、健太郎と言います。ゴーさんとは7年前に僕が世界一周の旅をしているときに、ロスでカウチサーフィンを使ってゴーさんにお世話になって、それこそゴロンゴロンさせてもらって1週間ぐらいですかね。お邪魔させてもらって、いい思い出になってます。で、日本に来た時とかね、ゴーさんと、いいセッション聞かせてもらって、こうやってライブでも、オンラインでもつながって、いつも、仲良くしてます。で、ゴロンゴロンについて、さっきちょっ
と待ってください。そこまで訳させてください。
はい
guys, my name is Kentaro. I'm in Japan here. The reason why Go and I know each other is because there's a website called Couchsurfing. And literally, I was Goron Goron on Go's couch about 7 years ago. And that's how we became friends. And when Go comes to Japan, we meet. And I like going to his show. And actually, I should mention this. He's a physical therapist. And he actually, when he was traveling around the world, he went around the world treating patients. And I believe his goal was to treat 500 patients as he was going around the world. 結局500人でしたっけ？面倒見た場所。
500人ですね。
500人。So he was able to accomplish taking care of 500 people while he was traveling. どうぞ、健太郎君。
はい。で、ゴロンゴロン、さっきパウロさんも言ってたんですけど、ワンちゃんが芝でゴロゴロしてるっていうので、今、うちもニャンコいてゴロゴロしてるんですよ、これ。ゴロゴロしてて、今まあちょうどニューイヤーだからみんなゴロゴロしてると思うんですよ。けどちょうどいい機会だなと思って、ね、みんな結構忙しかったり何かしら考えてることって毎日あると思うんだけど、今日ぐらいはまあゴロンゴロンして、まあリラックスして、この楽しい時間を過ごせれたらなと思ったんで、ゴロンゴロンって、まあ今日にちょうどぴったりなんじゃないかなって思いました。
ありがとうございます。すごい素敵です。ありがとうございます。Wow. So he's basically saying that, like, well, Paula was mentioning about a doggy just rolling around in the grass, but like, here you saw my cat doing goron goron over here. And we are headed for the end of 2022. And I feel like everybody's been busy, but perhaps today we can just kind of roll around and spend the time all that way and not really think about too much. And I felt like it would be a good opportunity for me to tune in today and share some time with you. ケンタロウ、ありがとうね。ありがとうございます。Charlie, Donna.
That's a very interesting words there, Goron. I can't really put anything to it except maybe a forest opening with a waterfall or trees surrounding it, maybe.
That's pretty cool. チャーリーさんが今ちょっと言ったのは、なんかどういうふうにゴロンゴロンって言えばいいのかなって、僕の場合はそうですね、なんか水で林あるいは森が開いていくか、そんな感じかなっていうふうに言ってます。You guys want to make a quick introduction yourselves too? Just to say hi to people.
Hello,
Hi.
Charlie and Donna Bullard. Live in Wairika, California, at the very top of the state of California. And, well,
ドナと私がチャールズです。ワイレカというカリフォルニアの一番北の方に住んでますっていうふうに言っていただきました。ありがとうございます。Michael Sivkowski, did you want to say something? Did you want to share something and a quick intro as well?
Yeah, just a quick intro. I'm in Traverse City, Michigan. So, yeah, just kind of in the northern part of the country. And all the snow that we had melted. It got warm after a really nice blizzard. But yeah, I do like the whole idea that about a dog rolling in the ground. It just sort of the dog is, when the dog is doing that, it's just completely in the moment and not encumbered by any of the things that we tend to think about a lot, at least as far as we know. And it's kind of cool when dogs do that and just enjoy life and enjoying the pleasure of their master, whoever it is, or other dogs. And that's really cool.
Thanks, Michael. マイケルさんはですね、ミシガンのトラバースシティっていう場所に、トラバースシティっていう場所に住んでるんですけど、最近までちょっと雪が降ったりしてたんだけど、最近のブリザードでちょっと天気の、温度が上がって雪が溶けましたって言ってます。Michael, sorry, like my mind went somewhere. I totally forgot what you said about the Goron Goron. Sorry, like it's a lot of focus for me. Can you repeat it shortly for me one more time? Just short.
Yeah, I was just saying I liked Paula's comments about the dog and just rolling around, and dogs are sort of just in the moment.
Okay, that's right. That's what you said. 犬さんがこういうのゴロンゴロンやってる時っていうのは、なんかまさにその時間にのめり込んでんじゃないでしょうかって表現しましたね。僕それ言われた瞬間にちょっと今、多分ね、聞いてるなんか気を取られちゃった。I think when you said like being in the moment, that's when you kind of lost me, I think.
Okay.
So, I think I was in my moment and I just kind of lost it. So, but that's funny. Thank you so much, Michael. Bethany?
I'm Bethany, and I met Go at First Night Monterey performance several years ago now. So I think that was the first time I saw Go perform, and I kind of kept in touch since then. And for me, I hear this concept Goron Goron. It's kind of makes me laugh because I feel like that's kind of what I've been doing this week. I travel a lot for work, and especially over the last 2 months, it's been back to back. And so in between these holidays this week, it's like, oh, I have so much I should do, but really I just feel like taking some time to rest and relax and just kind of like go with whatever happens each day has been really nice and really good for me.
That's great, Bethany. ベテニーさんと僕はファーストナイトっていうモントレーファーストナイトっていうなんか年始を、初めの夜を楽しむ、初夜って言えばいいのかな。そのフェスで僕が演奏してる時に彼女がそこのフェスに来て、そこの時らの試合です。何年間かこれで、お互いのことを知っている状態になってます。で、私の場合はそのゴロンゴロンっていうのことちょっとおかしいんですけれど、今週ちょうどなんかいつもは仕事をあちこち行ってるんですけれど、彼女、コウモリの研究をする方なんですよね。で、いつも動いたりしてるんだけど、今週は結構ゴロンゴロンってやってて、なんかやんなくちゃいけないこともあるんだけど、とりあえずゴロンゴロンしようかなっていうふうにやってるんで、ニコニコしてます。Everybody, I should also mention, Bethany's work is really quite fascinating. I haven't got the details, but she works about bats. That's what she does. Studying bats is her thing. That's her work.Guys, thank you so much. This is so cool. The one thing I was thinking about as you guys are sharing this, 僕ね、これ皆さんがこういうの分けていただいた間にちょっと考えてたんですけど、そのゴロンゴロンと何かに、and the word arrival that I actually was suggesting to talk about today, when you go to the extreme of these two words, I think it's actually the same thing.Recently, 僕今、ゴロンゴロンとアライバルっていう英語の言葉があるんですけど、アライバルっていうのとゴロンゴロンは極限肉と一緒なんじゃないかっていうふうに今提案してます。っていうのは、最近僕ね、なんか自分がすごく落ち着いた場所に到着したんだ、やったーとか思ったんですよ。So guys, recently I had this thought like, man, I feel like I'm at a really good place. I made it. And、there was something happened in my life shortly after I made that statement, and I started thinking about the meaning of arrival for myself.And ultimately speaking, just to just get to the point, like I'm realizing that for me, arrival basically means for me, arrival is the understanding of the ever-changing life cycle and being able to adapt to it, which is kind of funny because that actually could also be describing about the goron goron thing. 僕が今言ってるのは、どこかにアライバルする日本語の到着とアライバルって一緒かなって思うとちょっと違うんじゃないかなって思うところなんですけど、こういうんで、どこかに到着した、やった、できたって思っても、そしたらもうなんかその到着したらもう次の目標ってできるじゃないですか。So, for example, guys, like once you're arriving somewhere, if it's something that you're trying to accomplish, I think you'll see the next goal already. because you want more. At least that's kind of the case for me. And I think it is for a lot of us. So I realized that だからね、僕到着っていうかアライバルしたらなんか変化してるんだな。で、その変化にいかに自分がいつもなんか乗っかりながら、で、さらに自分をどういうふうにしたら良くしていけるかなっていうところが僕のとってのアライバルっていう考え方なんじゃないかなと思います。So for me, I'm thinking that arrival is kind of like accepting the idea that I don't think I'll ever completely arrive. It's kind of like some people might say a work in progress, but I hope some of you guys are getting what I'm telling you. It's kind of like Paula would always, everybody likes Paula today. Everybody's mentioning about Paula. It's like, like mentioning about like, I hope you're enjoying lots and how are you doing? Like, it's kind of like, and I think it gets better that way too. So once you arrive at a certain place, I think like, we want to go further, and that way I think you can have a really happy life. So anybody want to step in and say something? 今の状態でちょっと皆さんなんか言ってみたいなってこととかありますか? Bethany, go ahead.
I think it's a process, right? So a process of growth, of exploration. I think that's kind of like what you're describing, right? Because nothing in life is really stagnant, right? Our circumstances could always be changing, or we are always aging, right? So I think kind of having this concept of arrival is almost, it's almost like a myth in a way. And maybe that's not the right way of saying it, but like, because I think, sometimes you might hear like the only constant is change, right? So as we progress, we're always going to be in different stages of our life. So we can always keep thinking about how we might be growing or improving or changing our perspectives. And that arrival then becomes a pinpoint to spring off of something else.
Right.
That's what I think is what kind of you're describing a little bit.
Yes, ma'am. In fact, how have you thought about that on your own? Like 今、ベテリーさんは僕が言ってたことをなんか彼女なりに言ってたんですけど、やっぱりなんか、例えばどこかに到着したらでもそれをきっかけに次の場所に行くって感じじゃないでしょうかって今、それをちょっとすごい、滑らかに長くちょっと話していただいたんですけど、Bethany?
Yes. Have I thought about
arrival for yourself, or like, I mean, you did a good job just kind of talking about my situation, but
yeah. So, I mean, I think I've had kind of several pinpoints or turning points. It's like, oh, okay, I've achieved this, right? So I'm going to shift and move towards that. Or I've been trying to understand this thing about myself, and now I understand it. So what's the next thing I'm going to focus on, right? And move towards that. So
have you always thought about it that way, or is it like a more recent thing? 今僕はベセニーさんに聞いてるんですけど、いや、私はベセニーさんはやっぱり私そうですね、そういうんでなんか目標やってそこまで行って、じゃあ次は何だろうって考えたりしてきてるって言ってるんですけど、僕は彼女に質問してるのは、いつもそんな風に考えてたんですか、それとも最近ですかって言ってるんですか? Bethany, is it recent or like for a long time?
Well, I think I've always kind of been goal oriented.
Okay.
Right?
Oh yeah, we talked about that actually.
Yeah. So I feel like it's a similar concept, right? Except for I feel like if you put it in the form of like, oh, I'm focused on this goal, right? It makes it a little bit more about like concrete achievements versus like, let's say, perspectives. But I think it's similar enough that you can shift it. So I think it's just kind of a shifting of view, if that makes sense.
Okay. Nice and symbolic. ベセニーさんは結構昔からなんか目標に向かって動いてたってところがあるっていうのを今言って、僕なんか前に話をしたことがあったなって思い出したんですよ。なんか彼女なんかちょっと日本人みたいなところあるんじゃないかなと思ったんです。I'm just telling in Japanese, Bethany, like, I remember this conversation with you, and it made me feel like there's a Japanese soul, a part of it or something inside of you in a way, like, being very driven like that too. But let's go around the room. Anybody else? テリオさんどうですか、もしよかったら。
アライバルって聞いて思い 思うのは、結局、次の始まりの終わりだなっていう感じですね。
次の始まりの、
終わり。
終わり。ほう、OK。
だから、次の始まりですね。だから、この終わりは次の始まりなんだ。まあ、当たり前のことかもしれない。
ありがとうございます。So, テリオさんです。英語で言いますか？それとも僕が言いましょうか？はい。テリオ is saying like, so the arrival, the first thing that comes to my mind is like, it's a beginning of something new. Something is ending. It's a beginning of something new. すごいですね。かっこいいですね。いや。はあ、なるほど。Anybody else want to step in? Paula, go ahead, Paula. And Veronica, we'll get you next.
So I feel that arriving to your destination is like a relief, kind of like, I made it. And this is what I've been waiting for. So it's nice that we have different things in our lives that we want to feel like we have arrived to maybe enjoying our career, or maybe like having a meaningful love relationship, or maybe whatever goal it is that you want to achieve and arrive to, feel like you have arrived. And at the same time, like Bethany said, it's like a never-ending process. Like we always turn the corner and find another goal. So we want to arrive at the next best, higher thing. So it's just nice to, as we go through life and arrive at different points that are exciting for us, to also feel like in this moment today, we have arrived because we feel good. So not to let any of those goals cause any stress. You want to achieve them, but at the same time, you know you're always going to have goals. So how nice it is to feel satisfied today, like you have arrived today, no matter what, just by the simple fact that you feel good and you feel enthusiastic about today, whether it was a good day or a bad day, quote unquote.
Thank you so much, Paula. That's really lovely. Everybody's, man. パウラさんが言ったのは、ベテニーさんがすごい、綺麗に、アライバルと次に行くことを話をしてましたけれど、我々何かに向かってても途中でやっぱり自分たちに頑張ってるんだ、よかったんだっていうふうに言うのは大切だと思うんですよ。It's like you want to say, like, I made it here, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you've finished the journey. 自分が旅してて、でもここに今日は行ったんだ、嬉しい、そうに感じるっていうのは人間としてもやっぱりやるべきことじゃないでしょうか。自分がそういうんでなんかね、やったって思える。で、そこで終わりじゃないけど、じゃあ次のところに行くっていうことももう見えてて、もう、旅はずっと続くからね。でもやっぱり時々、これができた、よっしゃって、今日も、明日もそういうのを感じるのって必要じゃないですか。Just feeling like you've done something good every day, it sounds like it's important. Paula, thank you so much. Veronica.
The term arrival, I'd say I relate to both what Bethany and Paula said. Early on, I would say, in younger years, it's as if the destination was the goal. Also, I can relate to having multiple goals and all that, but it was like, if only, X or Y or Z, then everything would be solved and everything would be great and everything would be wonderful. And certainly as a lifetime arc, I would say, that certainly was a learning process for me that,
Veronica, hold on just one second before you
Yes.
your next thought. 今、ベロニカさんが言ってたんですけど、ベセニーさんが言ってたことやパウラさんが言ってたこと、私も、共感しますって、エコーしますって言ってます。で、前はやっぱり、なんかゴールっていうのは、英語で、How did you say it? The goal is the destination rather than the journey. How did you phrase it?
Well, I would say in essence, that's kind of where I am now, that this journey of the series of arrivals, I really love that perspective. It's the series of arrivals. It's that mix of you're still having goals and you're looking forward to what's next, but it's also that ability to enjoy the now and the
Okay.
arrival of whatever that point is now.
Kind of how Paula put it really beautifully. So that
Exactly.
we can treat ourselves. 今私がいる場所はこんな感じだと思いますってベロニカが言ってます。今私がいるっていうのは、なんか旅があって、旅のなんかね、旅がどんどん続いていくと。で、何かちょっとなんか成し遂げて、でもそれがどんどん続いていくっていう意味で、パウラさんが言ってた自分を褒めるっていう感じのところが、彼女とエコーするところがありますっていうふうに言ってますね。Alright. Anybody else?
Oh, here.
Donna, thank you. Go ahead, Donna.
So, as I'm listening to everybody speak, I've been thinking about my own personal journey, and I look at it as a journey with my job that I'm in. I've just been through a lot, just learning to deal with people because I manage a storage facility, and I've been through a lot of stuff, as well as my own personal life. And things are just been really rough, and I didn't really understand, but now I'm getting it. Now it's kind of like I've been just growing and blossoming and understanding. So I agree with whatever everybody else had to say. And so it was just kind of, I was thinking about my own personal life, just seeing where God has put me in my own life by this journey that I've been in. And I feel like I'm still in it. I think we are all on a journey, and we will all be that way until the end, but we're all growing, maturing, trying to figure it out. And I think it's a wonderful thing.
Thank you so much, Donna. That's very deep. 今、ドナさんが分けていただいたのは、彼女の場合は、私は、荷物なんかをしまっとく場所をマネージする、マネジメントを彼女がその管理人みたいなことをやってるんですよね。そんな感じのことがあるんで、いろんな人との接客なんかもあったりして、いろいろなんか最近あったんだけど、いろいろ起きたりしてたのが、それは旅の一部なんだっていうふうに最近思えるようになってたから、だから皆さんの話を聞きながら、私の場合はこうなのかな、ああなのかなって考えて、で、神様っていう表現を彼女が使っていただいたんですけど、神様が私をここに置いたんだ。だからどういうふうに旅するべきなのかなっていうのを考えながら皆さんの話を聞いていますっていうふうに言ってて、で、それを受け入れることによって自分がどういうふうに行くのかなっていうのを考えるきっかけになっていると思いますっていうふうに言ってますね。Thank you so much, Donna. All right, guys. Let's see. Sorry. A lot of thoughts in my mind. 今、皆さんのこと聞いてて、僕自分でかなりいろいろ来てますね。いい感じですね。今日、なんか2022年をまとめるのに本当にいいトークになってますね。Guys, I'm just saying, like, I think we're having a really good conversation, considering that we're going into 2023. And it's funny because, like, in a way, for Mother Earth, it's just another day. It's just another year, right? But for human beings, we decided that we're coming to the end of the year, like the 367 days. ね、地球にとってはさ、毎日って、まあ、ただ毎日。で、人間が勝手に367日って決めたわけじゃないですか。で、なんかね、だから、面白いな、でも、最近僕はちょっと考えてたのは、そんなこともあって、なんかホリデーとか、なんか休日とかいろいろありますけれど、So guys, I was thinking, like, recently, we have these Christmas holidays and yada, yada, yada. But we kind of look forward to these so that we have like stepping stones and points that we can really kind of take a breath, I guess, or have a chance to do goron goron like a lot of us have been doing this week. Okay, let's see. How are we? I think we're still doing good with the time, but we're getting closer to needing to wrap up so that I don't go crazy in my room. Let me hear from both of the Michaels. Let's start with Michael Sitkoski. Michael, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything more to add. It's been a good discussion, and
thank you.
I think the things that I would say have been said. And
That's great. Thank you, Michael. マイケルさんが言ったのはもう正直なんかね、いい会話で特に私がなんか加えることのできるものってないんじゃないかなって言ってます。Thank you so much, Michael. I think I have a tendency of feeling like I have to say a lot. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I'm working on that. Okay, Michael Beavers.
Let me just start with a quick remark on how much I enjoy these conversations, digging into words. And you always have a word. It's almost like a humanities class or something anytime I log into one of these.
Thank you so much, Michael. 今、マイケルさんが言ってるのは、まず僕が言いたいのは、なんか、コインでなんか Go のセッションに入ると、いつも楽しいんですよね。なんか一つの単語を取って、それでなんか深く入っていくっていう表現をちょっとテレビさんがしてましたけど、それってすごく面白いんですよね。なんか道徳的ななんかクラスかなんかで、みんなで深く考えてる感じがしたりしてっていうふうに、前置きをいただきました。ありがとうございます。マイコ、go ahead.
I'm thinking about the words arrival and Goron Goron as a pair. We've heard Paula talk about just arriving and going with the flow. Bethany talked about being goal oriented. I've always lived my life as though it's an adventure, and I am a bit more like one of those rocks in the river. I do tend to arrive at things based on where nature takes me. And so I think being in a state of Goron Goron is also a state of arrival.
すごい。私はカヌー、マイケルさんカヌーやってるんですけど、自分のなんか例えとして、that's brilliant. なんかよく人生をカヌーの川の中のように考えるんですけど、結構身を自然に任せるっていうのが私のやり方なんですよね。で、それっていうのはまさになんかちょっとゴロンゴロンの感じだけど、同時に到着っていうところにあるんじゃないでしょうか。だからゴロンゴロンと到着、アライバルっていうのは一緒だっていうふうに私は感じてますっていうふうに言っていただきましたね。Beautiful, beautiful. ケンタロウ君。
そうですね、アライバルだと、本当にさっきゴーさんが言った、365日1年って、じゃあ誰が決めたかっていうと人間が決めてて、自然とか世界とか宇宙とかで考えたら、本当に到着って誰が決めたものかわからなくて、僕たちはその中で何かを目指していく中で、自然とかこうやって地球で生きていく中で、やっぱそれを感じながら、やっぱ地球の営みと僕たちがどういうふうに生きていくかって、やっぱり遠いようで近くもあって、けど毎日感謝しながら歩いていくと、やっぱり作り上げてきた地球のものとか、僕たちが目指しているものって、実はすごい大きな世界だけど、それは実は一体となってて、到着って実はあるようでないような、ちょっと不思議な感覚だなって今思いました。すごい規模が大きな話と僕たちのこの感じる毎日って、すごい大きな話だけど、実は似てるっていうのを感じました。
ありがとうございます。僕さっき1年間367日って言いましたね。どこで2日間足したのかわかんないけど。Guys, so Kentaro was basically saying thatちょっともう一回短めに言ってもらっていい？すごいいい意味で抽象的だったんで、僕全部掴みきれなかった。
はいはい。
ごめんなさい。ちょっと。He said it so poetically, so I'm asking him to give me the points so that I can translate without me being kind of, okay, go ahead. もう一回お願いします。
そうですね。ゴーさんのさっきの367日5日で誰が決めたんだっていう話が、そう。それを結構囚われてたなと思って、もう地球規模で考えたら、僕らってちっぽけだけど僕らってその1年の中で生きてるから、なんか、大きなものも小さなものもあんまり変わんなくて、毎日、ね、目の前のものをしっかり感じて生きるのが正解なんじゃないかなって、それがアライバルになるんじゃないかなと思いました。
ありがとうございます。So guys, by the way, I don't know if you guys heard, I'm not sure if I said it in English or Japanese, but I said that there's 367 days in a year accidentally, but then Kentaro said it was 365. So I asked him to kind of sum up what he was saying. So one of the points that he was offering right here is that something gigantic or something small, what really is the difference? We live each day, all of us do something big or we do something small. Somebody decided that there's 365 days in a year, but in a way, does it really matter? And just realizing that everything is just one thing at the end. It's all connected. And when you think about it, perhaps there is no such thing as arrival. Maybe it's all there. That's kind of how he was saying. I'm doing my best to get the essence of what he's saying. て感じ。テレオさん、今ので大体良かったから大丈夫ですか？ OK ですか？ありがとうございます。ありがとうね、ケンタロウ君。OK. Guys, it's a little early, but why don't we pause so that we can actually have a chance to... Paula, did you want to say something?
Yeah, before you wrap up, I just want to say that Michael Beavers, he did a really wonderful job uniting the two words of arrival and Goron Goron. So it blew my mind. It definitely made me feel satisfied and enjoyed the way that he mixed those two. And then it just made me think of satisfaction as something that unites those two words. You arrive and you're satisfied, and you go wrong, and it's satisfaction.
今マイケル・ビーバーズさんがゴロンゴロンとアライバルをものすごい感じに融合させた表現がパウラさんがすごい打たれたってもう本当に大好きだったっていうふうに言ってるんですよね。Man, sorry, I'm kind of melting right now with all these stuff that you guys are sharing with me.
Satisfaction, going to the 365 days a year, you can feel a big satisfaction when you have a big arrival, or you can be satisfied those 365 days feeling the small arrivals of like today.
それも素敵だな。今、パウラさんが言ってたのは、僕がちょっとこういうのやってたら、例えば365日を生きて何か大きなものに到着する。あるいは、その一日一日小さいものかもしれないけど、それを楽しむ。で、あとパウラさんが今言ってた表現も思い出したんだけど、なんかやっぱりゴロンゴロンっていうのは英語で言うと satisfied、すごい、なんかやったーって感じなんですよね。で、到着する。それが、ある意味では、すごい、面白い、楽しいゴールじゃないでしょうかって感じのふうに、彼女言っていただいてますね。Guys, I just want to thank you for continuing to be a part of Crosswaters, and special thank you to Charlie and Donna for tuning in for the first time, and people for coming back. It's been really great for me, and just to remind you why I started this is because because of the pandemic in 2020 in May I started it. 皆さんに今僕ありがとうございます。戻ってきていただいたり、新しく入ってきたりって言ってるんですけど、僕これ始めたら20年のやっぱりパンデミックになってしまった時だったんですけど、自分のその時の希望としてはなんかね、パンデミックがなくてもみんなにとっても何かいいことができないかなとか思ったりして、自分にとってもですけれど、So I was hoping to create something that would stand strong regardless if there's a pandemic or not. And I feel like, I can give myself a little bit of pat on the back. Like I feel good, but I hope as all you guys are suggesting and allowing me to see, it's just a part of the journey. And I can't wait for myself to grow. I think with that note, we're gonna pause. 僕なんか皆さんのおかげでこういうね自分これやってるのすごい嬉しいんですけど、自分がもっとこれから成長するのを楽しみにしてますって思います。本当に皆さんいつも素敵な意見を振りかけてくれて本当にありがとうございます。すごい感謝です。Okay, guys, let's pause. Okay, so let me stop the recording right there. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to stop the recording. Go ahead and mute your cameras and microphones, but when we start the live, feel free to bring your mics and cameras back on, and it is a concert, so give me some love. Okay, we'll pause for a second. See you in a bit, guys.